Right.
watching.
And I think that that's why airway disorders are not, one in a million. They're more like one in three. And it is an epidemic right now. The growth and development is not happening how it's supposed to for most people. And it is because of cultural change. And we live in a time where things are fast. We need to eat quickly. We're on the go. We don't have time for this. We have to move, move, move.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want anyone to think that we're negating that or we're not conscious of that. I just do think that it's important to have these conversations so that people know. And like Dad said, you can't be perfect. And we don't even really know what perfect would look like because it's just not possible. But to have some more information that you didn't have yesterday to make decisions that are better for you. And maybe those decisions can't be made every day or every year, but I think it's important for people to have the awareness and then make decisions from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely it's not an easy thing. I would love to think that like when I have a kid, I'll breastfeed for 6 years and cook for them every meal. I don't even cook for myself right now. So it's much harder to do than I think sometimes we make it sound. But I think just sharing the information with people is important at the same time.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, because we want to find real solutions because you're right. Nobody needs to add one more thing to their plate. And we need easy solutions, both in the nutritional world and then in the airway and sleep world for sure. I remember, this conversation is making me look back and think, I guess I was quite a snob as a parent or something. I don't know, because maybe
I doubt that.
here's an example though. When Grace was in elementary school, my daughter, I would, put all the fun things in the lunchbox and bring the treats to school that were terrible cupcakes, sometimes made at home, but most of the time store bought with terrible stuff in them we know now, but they were pretty and fun and sprinkles, whatever. And there was one mother in one of her classes one year that was the exact opposite. So little Johnny, I'm going to call him. I don't even remember what the young man's name was in elementary school. Literally, mother had to be there, or if the teacher wasn't one that was going to do it, to take that food away or make sure it didn't land on his desk or at his table, because he could only eat what she made at home. And it did not look very appetizing. And he did not look very happy. And I felt so sorry for Johnny, socially and all of those things. It was not kind. It was not thinking about his social development. But I get it. She was right on some level. I was killing them nutritionally, and she was trying to give him good nutrition. So navigating all of that is not easier today than it was then. In fact, there are more choices, and you do want to put all the fun things in the lunchbox, but at the same time, we see, Dr. Avis, you and I see people that are 60, 70, 80 that looking back, they wished, right? They look back and wish I would have done this and that and the other something different. So we just all need to keep learning together, try to help each other make it through, especially as parents and grandparents trying to teach nutrition, but at the same time, socially be healthy, social healthy relationships, and not being seen as odd because mom makes you just, I don't know, whatever it is.
A conversation makes me think of our friend Alan Toppy, who unfortunately passed away about a year ago, but one of his keys was helping people choose. And my wife Kim would tease and had a t-shirt made that says, "We help people chew." But in the spirit of helping people choose, I think that's what our purpose with, your educational platform and what we're doing with the foundation, of which you're a proud board member, a founding board member, and is that we want to help people choose, and it's not about getting it all right. And so I'll give several examples. So if you go to a speech and language therapist because your child has a lisp or an articulation issue, a good speech and language therapist very often is picking up issues with muscle tone and tongue posture placement. And so that they're going to now actually not only help with the articulation issue, but they're going to do some things that'll help the child become a nasal breather and be healthier. So being an educated consumer, now all of a sudden you're looking for that speech language therapist that is looking beyond just the proper S, but
Mhm.
also on the proper swallow and also on the proper oral rest posture.
Mhm.
You go to a preventive cardiology specialist like yourself because we know, yes, you can control blood pressure with a pill, but you also could benefit from exercise and changing nutritional habits. And so if you, as my cardiology specialist, doesn't expose me to the impact that, walking after a meal could have on my blood sugar, how am I going to know and have the ability to make a choice to walk after the meal? And so there's so many opportunities for us to do some things that could help us be healthier. And kind of every time you make a right choice, there's myriad of positive effects, right? If all of a sudden you start walking when you weren't exercising, now all of a sudden you notice you start eating better because something's changed. So we never know how much you have to help a person change one thing that then dominoes. And for some people, it may be giving them a peptide that helps them lose a few pounds, and now they start to exercise, or we help them get a better night's sleep because we introduced them to CPAP therapy, and now they feel more rested. And so I think it's not about doing all things differently. It's about educating people and helping them choose. And if they're involved with you as their doctor, or me as their doctor, we can maybe help them take that next step that then kind of opens a whole nother possibility to better health. And that better health can be something that really changes the quality of their life, meaning how they feel each day, how they are in their relationship. So it's really very tangible. It's not about, okay, I'll know when I live to age 85 that these choices were worthwhile. It means that, wow, I feel more energy today, and I'm more present with my family.
Yes. I love that because I think we should bring back the t-shirt. We help people chew or choose. I don't know. They're both good. But
Yeah, maybe that's good. Maybe we do helping people chew on the front and helping people choose on the back. I think I'll speak to
got,
the Toppy family about that.
got it all covered. Yes, I love it. But the thing that makes me think of is that I'm trying to find wording all the time to help people make daily choices, even if maybe all day all your choices weren't great. The one right decision is a step in the right direction. My whole point about that is you were saying it's tangible. It's not just, okay, if I've gone another year without a heart attack, I must be doing something right. Or if I lived at 80, I must be doing something right. Now our technology and our metrics are so fantastic. And you know this to be true. Like we'll see something on the blood work if your choices have not been that great. And one right decision making a huge difference. We talk about that all the time because sometimes lab work looks so much better. And the patient is like, well, the only thing I did differently was it could be started mouth taping at night, or it could be I got the grains out of my diet, or I stopped bringing home the potato chips, or whatever it is. Sometimes we see a profound impact both positively with a few changes in your decision making and or negatively otherwise. An example of that is we had one young lady in her 40s make tremendous improvement in her health. She was really very sick when she first came to see me in her young early 40s, and based on lab work and based on the way she felt. And so she made a lot of changes, and year after year, I've been here seeing her for several years now, the labs got better and better, and like, wow, now you're, I would say, out of the woods. When I first saw you, I was more worried about your lab work than lab work I see on some people that are twice your age in their 80s, and things are looking better. They're consistently better. And I saw her a few times later for the lab work, and they were awful. And I'm like, what happened? What is going on? And it was a 3-day cruise. Wasn't even a week long, wasn't even a month long. But she said, I will tell you honestly, I threw all caution to the wind. I stayed up late. I drank alcohol. I don't hardly drink alcohol ever anymore when I'm home. I drank whatever I wanted. I ate whatever I wanted. And the lab work was like within a few days of getting back, I think maybe 1 or 2 days later. And she was quickly heading back towards a disaster based on her blood test. So there are tangible ways we don't have time on this call, but some of our calls, our Zooms and our recordings, we talk about how can you know if you have a breathing disordered sleep problem. There's a lot of new technology now that you can know in your newborn, you can know in your 98-year-old grandfather, and you can know for yourself if you're making good decisions. And it isn't easy. Again, back to the cultural thing, because like I don't bring the cupcakes into my home anymore because I don't have to worry about what anybody else wants. I live by myself. It's got its perks, it's got its benefits. And one is I don't bring it home from the store, because if I want it that bad to get in the car and drive over there and go in and buy it, then okay, I've given it a lot of thought. So if it's not here, I'm just not tempted by it. And so my whole point about that is those decisions can be difficult when you have people with different choices, different food allergies, different things in the home. So we want to bring mothers and fathers and caregivers of the world more choices, right? Where you can navigate all of that. But my point about it not being easier, my example is you guys saw me. Then we all go to a conference where there are no great food choices. So I decided to throw all caution to the wind. I'm eating everything. 3 desserts, no problem. Something I would never do. But there it's like, yeah, okay, I'm doing it.
The other choices weren't much better than that. So why not? Why not fully enjoy? No, I have a very similar mindset, but I'm kind of like all or nothing. Like my sisters, I've been hosting a lot this week, and they're like, you have no snacks here. And I'm like, if they're here, I'll eat them. If they're not here, I don't think about them. But then I go to Morgan's house, and I'm like, man, you have so many great snacks. And then I can't stop. And I'm like, and this is why I don't buy them.
Yes, me too. Yeah. And a little interesting tidbit about that is there is a gene called the snacking gene. And I would love to know if I have it and my daughter doesn't, because she'll bring home the big bag of M&Ms and the whatever, and she'll have a few and won't even think about it till they're moldy in some like drawer or whatever. I mean, it takes a long time for M&Ms to go moldy, but honestly, we found some in cleaning out a drawer or whatever, like, wow, these have been in here a long time. Oh, they would not last a day if I had brought them home,
Every now and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get myself a thing of ice cream for the house. Like I just want a spoonful.
Yeah.
The whole thing's gone that night. I'm like, this is why I can't.
Right. She doesn't like it when I come to her apartment. You've been in the freezer. Ice cream. Yeah. But now, so now I leave her notes. I stopped at 10 bites. Love ya.
Yeah, I think I definitely have the snacking gene.
I do too. I wanted to say something about the foundation and how people could help us help them. So it's a 501c3, which means it's a not-for-profit foundation. Our whole purpose is to change the quality of care with respect to upper airway disorders and breathing disordered sleep, so that millions can live better lives. And so we're very clear on why we're doing this, how to get there. Well, number one, we're now in post-production. For 7 years, we've been filming a documentary series that tell the stories of many different people who have had upper airway disorders. We're not proposing a specific level of care. There are stories that are about jaw surgery, but there are stories that are about CPAP therapy, and there's stories about Inspire, and there's stories about myofunctional therapy. And so we're really trying to help people exposed to how airway disorders were impacting their lives, so people can see themselves that, oh my goodness, I have that similar problem, whether it be with focus issues or tiredness or anxiety, just like I'm hearing here. And oh my goodness, it was rooted in this problem, and here's how they solved it. So it's a piece that'll create awareness about both the symptoms of airway disorders, the diagnosis, and then all the different potential treatment issues. Potential. But if we only did that, we'd create a lot of awareness, but we'd create a lot of frustration because there are not enough educated caregivers, physicians, dentists, speech and language therapists to meet this demand. And so the purpose of the foundation and why we need your help is that we want to change in medical and dental schools the education so that tomorrow's physicians and dentists and nurse practitioners are educated to understand how to recognize airway disorders and either treat it themselves or make proper referrals. And we want there to be more research, and not research for our foundation, but research monies from the National Institutes of Health that would be awarded to universities to do research on diagnostics and treatment for sleep disordered breathing and upper airway disorders. And so our foundation is about creating change in care through universities changing education in the medical and dental schools, and through inspiring the government to award far more money for upper airway disorder research. I think of the 46 billion of NIH research dollars in 2024, only I think 56 million was for upper airway disorders. So it's minuscule. It's not enough to help in a problem that's such an epidemic. So we need the power of people saying, hey, this is important. So if you look at our website, if you follow us on Instagram or TikTok, it shows that we have a following and that we have the power of the people. And that gives us strength when we go to Congress. It gives us strength when we go to Medicaid and Medicare reimbursement. And it gives us strength when we go to medical and dental schools to say, hey, this needs to be incorporated into your curriculum. And Gina, you are very much on the forefront of trying to change education in the medical and dental program. So maybe you want to speak to that a bit.
Well, I do just think that's one reason I'm just so appreciative and honored that you asked me to be on the board early on, founding board member of the Airway Revolution Foundation. And we will put all those links below so people can see what we're talking about. But you're right, there needs to be change on so many levels. And step one, we've talked about a lot on this call, and that is educating the mothers, the fathers, the caregivers, the teachers, the parents, the grandparents of the world, so that we can share this, identify it early in our children and share these things with our children, so that healthier lifestyle and healthy breathing and mewing is a part of their life from early on. And then from there, it's a global problem requiring, as you said, NIH money, huge dollars to truly wrap our arms around making a difference with this epidemic. And it's a vicious cycle that people have gotten themselves in, because it's impossible to perform at a high level, to function on a daily basis, to maybe lose weight, to have a metabolically healthy or a cardiovascular healthy body if you can't breathe at night. And you can't breathe well at night if you've also got this disorder of metabolism and these diseases already happening at an early stage, or movement towards disease and away from health in the body. So top of the list is Airway. And you and I missed it for the longest, Dr. Avis, being in the healthcare industry, always asking why, always wanting to know the truth, totally missed it for so many years. And then I know I personally, when I started seeing this, is okay, I need to really think about sleep apnea. That's all we talked about back in the day, was, does this overweight elderly male with a larger neck possibly stop breathing for a few seconds at night? Sleep apnea. But now we know from, as we've talked about on this Zoom today, is newborn, even maybe in utero, young children, to all ages, there can be a slight problem and there can be full-blown sleep apnea. So it's a continuum of, maybe you just need to put your lips together, but you have plenty of space if you would just retrain yourself. An easier fix than those who have multiple contributing factors to a low oxygenation problem at night, etc. So there's a lot of education to be blown up, if you will. We need to get it out there to the masses in large numbers. But then also, yes, as you said, it has to change at the educational level in terms of those that are being educated to be doctors and dentists and physical therapists, and in the healthcare space of any kind. And even you alluded to this too, Sydney, because of your sister who's a school teacher. Teachers are saving lives by identifying this early, but then they hit the wall, as you talked about, Dr. Avis, of, okay, where can we send this child who obviously needs help with their breathing, or getting them the help they need and the resources they need to correctly identify the contributing factors and treat the problem. So it's a huge epidemic, and it's got some complexities to it. And that's why I could not be more thankful for the Airway Revolution Foundation. And we all are going to see this maybe blow up like Mewing. I don't know, when the documentary comes out, right? Because that's going to be fantastic. We are going to circulate that like crazy. Is the title Battle to Breathe?
It's a working title.
Okay.
Actually, the working title is Breathless.
Oh, okay.
Battle to Breathe. But you know, it is a working title. We're not 100% set on that right now. But that's
Okay. Great.
When do you expect that we'd see the film?
So we're hoping for 2025. We are in post-production right now. We are hoping to have everything edited and completed by the end of March. And then from there, we'll go to distribution and hopefully get it out to the masses.
That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. We will have another recording to share it when it's available as well. And we'll share that on all of our social media platforms. And yeah, everybody you have got to see that documentary. It's the snippets that I've seen so far are fantastic. So it's going to help a lot. But great work that y'all are doing. And all of us will be following you at MewCon. So this is the pre-con to the MewCon, which is in a few days. And we will be watching for you. And I would encourage everybody to, if you can attend MewCon. I don't know if it's full or if you can still register. And then
I think you can still register, and it's open to everyone. This is not a medical conference. This is open to the public. So anyone who's interested, please come. And I think there is an option to attend online as well. But we will have it in person in New York, which should be really fun.
Yes, it will be. Well, we're sending you all the support in the world. I'm so glad that they asked you to speak. That was a perfect choice. And you're going to tie both worlds together. And wow, you're a part of the inner circle with the Mewing community.
That's right. Well, we're happy to be at MewCon 2024. That's for sure.
Great. Well, we'll be watching. Thank you for recording with me today and for sharing all of your wisdom and your experiences.
Thanks, Gina.
Dr. Pritchard.
Dr. Pritchard. The best.